we are in the process of a total transformation of the global economy to the AI era. Just like we were at the beginning when factories came out and the steam engine came out, we became an industrial era. This is the AI era. This is AI First with Adam and Andy, the show that takes you to the front lines of AI innovation and business. I'm Andy Sack, and alongside my co-host, Adam Brotman, each episode we bring you candid conversation with business leaders transforming their businesses with AI. No fluff, just real talk, actionable use cases, and insights for you. Welcome to the audience to yet another 10-minute episode with Adam and Andy. We're doing this on Sunday afternoon, and we think this may become a Sunday ritual for us. So, Adam, we talk every day about AI. Today is no different. I think the topic that we want to talk about today is really about some of the deals that have been occurring, the news, Nvidia, Oracle, OpenAI, et cetera, and sort of what it means to, like, what advice or observations do we have about those deals that are relevant to the executive in business? So, Adam, do you have take us anywhere you want to go about what's interesting about those deals and what you think executives need to know?
Well, I think the interesting thing about both those deals, one was, I think, Nvidia agreeing to invest in the stock of OpenAI. And that the more that OpenAI bought of Nvidia's chips, the more they would invest in OpenAI, up to $100 billion of investment in OpenAI. Related but different was, I want to say, OpenAI agreeing to buy $100 billion worth of infrastructure from Oracle. And so the question would be like, a question that we should try to answer and talk about is, what do we make of those deals? How are they relevant in the world that we live in? And I'd say what they both have in common is this idea of, do you believe that there's going to be this continual building out of infrastructure to allow this AI train to just keep rolling as fast and as broad as it has been? And because the numbers are so staggering, they seem like, oh, it's just circular and one company's investing in the other and it's funny money or whatever. But when you step back, I actually think the deals, they make sense to me. And I'm biased. I'm coming from the perspective of, like, it seems like these big models, for example, every time they need to go either create a new model, they went from like $100 million of compute cost to create a model to like $1 billion to like 10 billion. They seem like they're going up in how much it costs just to train the model. And then on top of that, because of the thinking and reasoning models, there's so much of the chat compute that you need, which is called inference. And that you need a factory of servers for that as well. So there's like infrastructure to train the models, infrastructure to talk to the models, especially with all this reasoning. And even though these numbers seem huge, my quick take is, yeah, like it just shows how much further we still have to go. So for that reason, I look at those and personally go, don't get, I personally think don't get like too wowed to think that, oh boy, this is a big bubble. Although it may be a bubble. I'm not saying it's not. I just think that like these folks are just getting going. And that's kind of my thoughts on it. I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
So look, I think in terms of executive, like if I were to boil this down, I think the questions that I hear that go off in my mind, but that I also hear executives asking me about are like, is this just like sort of Ponzi-nomics and money shipping from one enterprise to another? And like this dates back to really Microsoft's deal with OpenAI in the first place, their first $1 billion investment in 2019. And now all the money's being spent by OpenAI on Azure, and it's inflated Azure's revenue in a good way. I think I'm with you. Deals are not simply, yes, it's inside baseball. It's tech companies with tech companies. The numbers are staggering. $100 billion check here, $100 billion check here. But I think I would say that you're missing the point if you're focused on that flow and the Ponzi-nomics of that, which is enough to raise an eyebrow at. You're missing the bigger point, which is we are in the process of a total transformation of the global economy to the AI era. just like we were at the beginning when factories came out and the steam engine came out, we became an industrial era. This is the AI era. And we're at the beginning of that. It is moving insanely fast, and it's going to require a phenomenal amount of infrastructure build, which is data centers and energy, and $100 billion deals times 10, maybe even times 100, in order to make this transformation happen. And that's going to happen over the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And we're at the beginning of it. So like, I would say, yeah, you can look at it in the trees and go, oh, it's a hype, or isn't that inside baseball? Probably yes and yes. And you're missing the forest. The forest is where we're totally transforming the global economy, period, full stop.
Yeah, well said. It's like you when you listen to the CEO of Nvidia, Jensen Huang, talk. He was just on the BG2 podcast, and you and I both listened to that this weekend. And he does such a nice job of, like you said, zooming out and just saying, well, what percentage of work is going to be affected by AI and use AI? And what percentage of work has already been transformed in this way? And the answer is all of it's going to be affected practically. And it's just a sliver has started to become affected so far. And that's at today's models capabilities. So you think about all the compute needed to improve the models, all the compute needed to expand access to every part of our economy and our species doing all these things. And so when you look at it from that perspective, you don't get too overwhelmed with these numbers, because you start to realize, like you said, like this is an industrial revolution of the modern era, and we're watching it happen, and it's happening so fast that and things are improving so fast that you can't fully wrap your brain around it. Like these reasoning models, for example, that came out a year ago, and barely a year ago, and they changed everything. Like the ability for
Yeah.
for you
Can
to get the answer you need, it just changed so quickly. But it also just rapidly 10x or 100x or 1000x the amount of compute that was needed. So there's a question of whether or not like the ROI is there. But
Can I build on
yeah,
that Jensen Wong? Because that, if you
yeah,
haven't listened to the Jensen Wong interview on BG Squared, I think we recommend it. It's long. I'm not going to try and. I mean, I think I have such admiration for Jensen Wong as an executive and a communicator. I'm not going to try and steal his thunder, but he did two things, and at least I haven't even finished it. I'm only 45 minutes through. He did two things in that interview that I think are worth highlighting. One is he talked about how the Industrial Revolution automated manual labor, and how the AI era, the AI revolution is going to automate basically knowledge work. So he contextualized it in manual labor versus knowledge labor. Then the second thing he did was he really just talked about the global GDP at $50 trillion. And so
right.
in the context of $50 trillion, investments of valuations and investments of $100 billion actually to materially improve the 50 trillion GDP of the globe and increase productivity. It actually context shift at that scale. It actually, I mean, self-serving to him, yes, but I actually think he's more right than wrong. Audience, thank you for sharing your Sunday with us, or whatever day of the week it is that you're listening to this. Thanks for listening to AI First with Adam and Andy. For more resources on how to become AI First, visit our website, forum3.com. You can download case studies, research briefings, executive summaries, and join our email list. We also invite you to connect with our AI First community, a curated hub and network for leaders and executives turning AI hype into action. We truly believe you can't overinvest in your AI learning. Onward.